Good morning. It's a Sunday morning, almost noon, and we are going on a very long trip today. We're going to go right across the street, pick up a load of cars. That's our first stop. Second stop, we're going down to Yuma, Arizona from Bakersfield with a load of Tesla cars. So let's go across the street here and pick up our cars. Again, you have to be out in the middle of the street before you can see. If I really owned this property, you can believe that wall would be gone. Gone, gone, gone.
Turn left.
I want to cut that car off there, but that's all right. Okay, now I don't know which board it was on. Let's see which board it's on here. Bakersfield, Artesia, to Gallup. There it is, to Yuma. We have two of them going to Yuma. Well, we have three of them going to Yuma. Let's see which one we want. We want the cars, we want the trucks, we want the low ones. Let's take the low ones. Alrighty. Now we just have to hook up and get on the road. Thing that this truck will actually run decent. One of the things I don't understand in this game is that when you have garages, like we have garages all over, and if you go to that garage,
Let's go.
you can't do the repairs at the garage. You have to take it to a garage and pay them to fix things. That's one thing that I would like to see fixed in the game, because that's why you have a garage. One of the reasons you have a garage is so you can fix your own trucks. I'm going to try to back up this way and connect. Don't know they're going to let me do it, but I'm going to try it. You see how the mirrors probably need to be set a little different. And we did it.
Okay.
The mirrors need to be
Here we
set a
go.
little different because it looks like the back end of the truck is fanned out on both sides. But anyway, that's something I can work on later. Right now, we're on the way to Yuma, Arizona. We have 7 hours and 31 minutes. I did shut the clock off because I'm not interested in
Turn right.
the clock beeping at me telling me I have to find a place to sleep, but there is no place to sleep. And we can go. Boys and girls, we're on the way. Past our shop, right across the street. Wasn't that nice? I like that load.
Go straight.
Not sure if we're going to do a time lapse or not. We'll see. Some of this is highway. You've seen it all before. May do a little bit of a time lapse. Maybe not. We'll see. It's only 7.5 hours. It's not a super long trip, but we'll see what it does. And the time lapse is better on the long distance trips. So I don't know. We'll see how long this takes. Hopefully we can get there tonight. It's only 7.5 hours. It's 11:46 in the morning, 11:47. We should be there by 8 o'clock tonight, 9 o'clock tonight. I think we should be okay. We'll see. That's given the speed and no traffic and no accidents and no road closures and detours and all that good stuff that happens a lot. So hopefully we can get on the highway up here and we can get out of here. There, that'll teach them. See that, folks? That's what we do. They put them over in our lane, we'll put them back in their lane. And why they put the cones over so far with trucks having to get by, but they do that in real life. That's nothing new.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
You can always leave comments below on the volume or any questions or whatever. I do try to answer the comments. So if you have any comments, you can leave them down below.
Well, it was back in 33 when the times were hard. Yeah, I took a shotgun and a shaved deck of cards. $1 was your winning and that shotgun was your guard. And if you lived to spend your dollar, baby, the people called you hard. Now on the east side of Chicago lived this dude named Stagger Lee. Yeah, he's about the baddest mother lover to ever walk Chicago street free. And you can believe me, I'm one of the few still living who knew old Stagger Lee. Now, old Stagger Lee, he walked in the rain and waded through the mud to get to this bar called the Bucket of Blood. Now, as he walked inside, he ordered something to eat. Bartender gave him a dirty glass of water and a tough piece of meat. Stagger Lee said, "Now, Mr. Bartender, why, you must not know who I am." Bartender said, "Frankly speaking, boy, I don't really give a damn." Now, with that, old Stagger Lee pulled his .44 and he shot that bartender dead on the floor. About that time, some bar-hopping filly came through the door and she wiggled her way across the floor as she said, "Mr. Bartender, if you please." Stagger Lee said, "You're wasting time, filly. He's behind the bar with his mind at ease." Now, Stagger Lee set up the bar and declared, "I'm buying." But the filly said, "I can't, 'cause I belong to Johnny the Lion. Now, you might be mean as a red-eyed steer, but you better leave before Johnny the Lion gets here." Well, about that time, Johnny the Lion came through the door and says, "Stagger Lee, I've been looking for you." Stagger Lee said, "Now that you found me, Johnny, what you plan to do?" Well, Johnny pulled a hunting knife to cut Stagger Lee dead. And Stagger Lee just laughed as he calmly said, he said, "You got a lot of guts, Johnny, to hunt me with that knife?" And while he was still laughing, he pulled his .44 and took Johnny the Lion's life. Now the filly screamed, "You've killed my lover, Johnny the Lion." And Stagger Lee said, "You could be next, filly, if you don't stop crying." Well, Stagger Lee figured the best he could do was tell Johnny the Lion's mama, Sister Lou. He says, Sister Lou, you know what I just done? Well, I just shot your punk of a no-good son." Sister Lou says, "Stagger Lee, well, tell me that's not true. You and Johnny the Lion been friends for nigh on a year or two." Stagger Lee said, "If you don't believe he's dead, just go down that bar and count the holes in his head." Well, Sister Lou seen a cop walking on his beat, and she cried, "Mr. Law, Mr. Law," as she ran down the street. She said, "Mr. Law, you gotta help me and arrest that no-good Stagger Lee." Well, the cop said, "I'm only the police and I'd like my help." "If you want that boy, you're gonna have to get him yourself." Well, nothing was heard of Stagger Lee until April 5th, 1933. He showed up running with Wild Billy Green, sporting a brand new Cadillac machine. He wore a Stetson hat and a silk bow tie, and Billy Green was sharp, and that's no lie. Well, Billy Green and Stagger Lee were shooting craps in this place called the Hanging Tree. It was Stagger Lee's turn to roll the dice, when in came this dude as cool as ice. His cold eyes searched the room for his enemy, and they fell the rest on Stagger Lee. He pulled his .38 and he stuck it in his nose, and he said, "Now, Stagger Lee, anything goes. I followed you nigh a year and I know how you figure. And if you move too fast, boy, I'll have to pull the trigger." Well, at 9:15, Stagger Lee was waiting in line. At 10:15, he was in court with 12 men. The judge said, "The charge is murder, now what's the plea?" Stagger Lee said, "I'm guilty, Your Honor, now what's the penalty?" The judge said, "Well, according to this here filly and all her stories, son, you ain't gonna leave jail stealing your glory. About 99 years ought to cool yourself off." And Stagger Lee just laughed and claimed the judge was getting soft. He said, "Well, hell, 99 years, that ain't no time. I got a brother that's doing 199. Now, Stagger Lee's lawyer started to shout. And Stagger Lee says, "Sit down, liar, you don't know what this is all about." With that, he jumped the guard and stole his .44, and he shot that filly dead on the floor. He shot the judge right between his eyes. Then he shot his lawyer for all his lies. Through the courtroom windows where he made his plea, asked the last the court ever seen old Stagger Lee. Well, getting back to our story, and old Billy Green, he headed west in that Cadillac machine. He stopped by this little bar and bumped into some dude he thought was still running far. Now, if you don't know who I mean, well, that was Stagger Lee that bumped into Billy Green. And they stood for a while and they talked over times, and then they went inside to drink a little wine. A hush fell over that bar as they ordered around. And way in the corner stood Bad Man Brown. Well, the bartender looked at Brown and then he nodded his head. He said, "I'm sorry, boys, but we don't need your bread." With that, Stagger Lee pulled his .44 and he shot that bartender same as before. The bartender screamed as he crumpled down. And that's when Stagger Lee and Billy Green met Bad Man Brown. Brown said, "Now, boys, that's something you shouldn't have done." "Why, hell, you just blowed away my brother, son." Billy Green looked at Stagger Lee and they began to laugh. Poor Billy Green never heard the shotgun that cut him in half. Stagger Lee reached for his .44, but he was too late. Brown pulled off one more. Stagger Lee crumpled down. He let out a yell and said, "Brown, we'll settle this hassle in hell." Brown just laughed and gave another blast. Blowed Stagger Lee flat back on his elbows. Now you can believe my story. And these boys died. Or you can dig them up and count the holes in their hide. And as for old Brown and all his glory, well, that's for another time and for another story.
While the modern cowboys of today, who do you see riding across the USA? Well, who camps out on the open range and who stays warm by the campfire flames, drinking their whiskey straight from the jug, shooting their guns because it's the life that they love? Well, tell me, who are the modern cowboys of today? The cowboy had a code to protect his own, and wherever the cowboy camped was a cowboy's home. Well, who still sleeps with a gun in his hand, and who's still ready to take a stand? Who'd rather die in the dead of night than to lose his gear without giving a fight? Well, tell me, who are the modern cowboys of today? The cowboy loved his horse more than his lady true, but who loves today in the way that they used to do? They wear rawhide gloves and some even chaps. They ride iron horses with bags and packs, and you call them outlaws that don't belong. They're wild and crazy, full of fire and fun. But tell me, who are the modern cowboys of today. Who's asked to leave before they ride into town? And who likes to fist fight with anybody around? Who chases women all night long, doing everything even when it's wrong? Who wears worn Levi's and wiry beards, causes the town folk to hide in fear? Well, tell me, who are the modern cowboys of today? They don't herd cattle or rope or brand the calf. They're more like the rebs and the drifters that didn't last. Because they ride to live and they live to ride. They love the life of being free to decide, and they'll last as long as they can, you see. But they live in a world that won't let them be. So just like the rebels, they'll all be history. Because they ride to live and they live to ride. They love the life of being free to decide, and they'll last as long as they can, you see. But they live in a world that won't let them be. So just like the rebels, they'll all be history. Tell me, who are the modern cowboys of the day? And who do you see riding across the USA?
was greener for a girl like you. Heartbroken in Idaho, taking down some notes for what it's worth. Chef's advice to busting tables at the club, so searching, I'm still searching for the girl of my dreams, dreams that never come true. Open, reaching, striding every day. Got my degree too. Now I'm headed for open skies. Saw you in the meeting, power girl. Pinstripe suits and ties. Chew 'em up and spit in their eye. Searching, I'm still searching for the girl of my dreams, dreams that never come true. Republican parties seem the place to schmooze for a girl with style. Wrought iron round every yard, sipping cornichons with beehive blues. Orthodontist smile, blind in the palace guard. Searching, I'm still searching for the girl of my dreams, dreams that never come true. Searching, I'm still searching for the girl of my dreams, dreams that never come true. Searching, I'm still searching for the girl of my dreams, dreams that never come true. Searching. Searching,
Go straight. Get ready to turn right. Turn right. Get ready to turn left. Turn left. Turn right. It was a nice ride.